Hi guys, my name is Montse Hernandez, here to talk about the new film, Student Body, starring me, is that weird to say? That comes out this February 8th. And I'm here with Elias on the Man Cave Chronicles podcast.
Montse, welcome to the cave.
Hi, thank you for having me.
How's your day going? I know you got a lot of things happening lately with projects. You know, you got the new movie coming out, Student Body. It's like you're all over the place. When I was doing some research on you, you're busy.
For real, yes. It's overwhelming, but in the good way. Yeah, I'm all over the place, but best vibes, good
That's
energy. Right. Yeah, I'm really excited. I didn't think it would happen so fast. I mean, we filmed the movie back in 2019, so a while back. Yeah. And then things obviously slowed down because of the pandemic. So now that it's getting out there and all of our hard work's finally going to be seen, it's like, boom, everything just, and I'm like, wow, okay, cool.
So before we jump in the movie, I was doing some research on you, and I've noticed you've done you've done the acting, you've done voiceover work, you've done a little bit of everything. Like, how did you fall in love with acting? What made you get into it?
So I actually started when I was 4.
Wow.
I started with modeling back in Texas, because I'm originally from Dallas, Texas. And then I would do, some print jobs. And then when I was 5, I started doing voiceover, because they were always looking for, like radio spots, like little girl, like in English and Spanish. And I think they forgot I didn't know how to read at that point yet. I was like barely learning. So they were here giving me all these voiceover jobs. And my mom's like, slow down, like she can't read. So she would actually feed me the lines and I'd memorize them before going into the booth.
Wow.
Yeah. So then from there, I think I've always loved it. Even just doing modeling, like I fell in love with it because I just had so much fun doing it. And when I got to the age where I started exploring on camera and doing, like reading sides and performing, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is fun. More than anything, I fell in love with it because I had so much fun testing my limits and seeing what I can do and exploring different characters. And that's kind of where it all started when I was really, really young.
Wow. Now you've done voiceover for video games and like animation and stuff like that. Like, tell us how fun is that world? Pretty much
so fun. It's crazy how similar it is to live action. I know I was actually talking about this with someone yesterday. People think obviously, yeah, they're different because in one you're using your voice and another you're using your body, but they're very similar in the sense that you have to really put yourself in the character and use your imagination. If anything, sometimes I think it's a little bit harder because you have to do all of these different expressions and portray all these different emotions just using your voice. Yeah. And that's craziness. But it's so much fun. It's so much fun because there's no limits to what you can do.
Well, the great thing about like voiceover work too is like you just get up and like you can wear a hoodie, like you said, just go into work and do your thing and go home.
You can show up in pajamas and nobody cares.
You don't have to worry about an hour worth of makeup just to go film a scene.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
So let's talk about your new project. You got a Student Body coming out. Tell us about how this happened. How did you get approached for this project, and how did you originally go in for Jane?
Yeah, I did. That was the first. Let me take it back. I got nervous. I get so excited. I just get nervous and caught up in it. So it came in like an email as a regular audition, like a regular breakdown. And I'm going to be honest, when I first read the breakdown, the character description, I was like, Jane Shipley? Like, I don't audition for Jane Shipley's. Like, I don't feel like I look like a Jane Shipley. So I honestly didn't really think much of it. Obviously I gave it my all, I focused, I put in my work. But I never thought anything would come of it after that. I was just like, I don't normally go out for like the soft, sweet, meek character, much less the lead, because at this point in my life, I've just been so used to, I was 19 when I got it, but I was just so used to already kind of feeling like, like there's not enough roles for like Latinos, and this is just another one where I'm just like, it's Jane Shipley. I am not Jane Shipley. But this just proves that I am Jane Shipley.
That means you can do anything.
You can do anything, you know? That's why this is a really special project for me.
That's awesome. So was this first like when you read the script, was it a live audition? Was it just a self-tape at first?
It was a self-tape.
Wow. So how did you prepare to play this character then after reading like the description and a few lines to prepare for this?
I actually, it wasn't so crazy getting into Jane because when I was in high school, I was very much like Jane. I was very timid. I was very meek. I was very much like, I feel like I don't fit in with any clique. I'm just kind of there floating through high school. And I feel like everybody's been there. So I kind of just took myself back. You know, I always try to give really genuine and real and grounded performances. So I really just put myself back in, 15, 16-year-old Montse's shoes and created Jane from there.
Mm-hmm. So after you booked the role and everything, actually, you know what? For the listeners, the viewers, why don't you tell us real quick, like without giving us spoilers, what the movie is about so they have an idea? Okay.
So I'll be honest with you guys. I'm the worst when it comes to spoilers. So I have something right here written down so I don't spoil anything because I get so excited about this project. I just want to say everything. And then I know I'm going to spoil it. I'm like the worst with spoiling movies. I spoiled No Way Home for my brother and I felt so bad. I felt so bad. It wasn't on purpose, I promise. So Student Body is a horror thriller and it centers around childhood best friends Jane and Merritt, who after a distressing incident must take action against their high school math teacher, and that drives their splintered relationship into further turmoil and provokes deadly consequences.
There you go. Now you mentioned so now you mentioned Merritt. Like describe that chemistry and relationship between you two.
Oh my gosh, it was tricky because Cheyenne, the actress who plays Merritt, is so sweet. She's awesome, and I like love her so much, and she's like the sweetest person ever. So I'm like, okay, remember, like, she's supposed to be mean to you. You still love her as a friend, but it's like, man, like I can't stand this girl. Like she's kind of mean. But the chemistry was definitely there. Because Jane is trying to mend her relationship. I played it from a point where it's like, yes, Merritt's changed. Yeah, she's being kind of mean to me, but I still have this love for her. And that's where like the base of the relationship is. Like I have so much love for her despite her being a terrible person to me. And that's kind of how like the chemistry in the film works. Offset, no, she's cool. We're cool. We're homies. She's sweet. I'm sweet. It's fine.
Yeah. So how long did it take to film this? Because most of the movie takes place in a school, but like how for when the project started, how long did you guys were you on set for?
I want to say like a month, more or less.
Where was it filmed?
Well, I'm sorry?
Where was it filmed?
Georgia.
Okay.
Half in Atlanta and half in Raven Gap.
Wow.
Which was spooky.
So you're on
spooky.
And now this was filmed in 2019. Was that like in the beginning of COVID or what?
No, so it was before COVID even existed.
Oh, so you're lucky. No lockdown.
Yeah.
Wow. So what? So when you guys filmed it, COVID started. Like, what took so long to release it finally? What was because usually, after they film and everything, it take about maybe like a few months, 6 months to a year to release it. What made them hold it for a while?
You know what? I'm actually not sure, but I feel like because I'm really close with the producer and the director, and they're both incredible, I feel like they're such perfectionists. And I feel like they just took advantage of the time, that everything was shut down to just make it the best version of the film, like make it perfect, make it like just their vision like come to life in like the best way possible.
Well, the film comes out in February. Is this going to be just a digital release?
Yes, it's a digital release February 8th.
Now, was that always the plan, a digital release, or was it because of COVID it's going to digital?
I'm actually not sure. They're so secretive. They don't want to tell me anything. They'll give me hints here and there, but they'll never tell me everything. Everything's always a surprise with them.
Now, have you watched the finished project?
I have.
Yeah. So what was after watching the whole movie together, what was your reaction? All the pieces that were put together.
It was so cool because the entire filming experience was already such an adventure. And just watching it back, I'm just like thinking about the preparation that went into it, everybody, like the late nights and like the super early mornings, and just watching it all come together, just all of our efforts, like as a team, cast and crew, like they're all incredible. It was just really cool to watch. Like the story is fun. I think it's an important story to tell. We touch on some topics that I think are very not so much talked about, and I think having it portrayed in like a horror sense and like in a thriller way is really interesting. I'm like trying so hard not to spoil.
That's okay.
But no, it was awesome. I love the project just because it was like it's my first lead like in a film. So just watching it back is just like memories. And like
awesome.
that was
I'm sure you can't wait for your friends and family to watch it.
I cannot wait. I'm my biggest critic, so I can wait a little bit just because I'm like, eesh. But no, I'm really proud of the work that I did and that everybody did as a team. So I am really excited for everybody to see it.
No, I assume for digital, it's available everywhere, like Amazon, iTunes.
Yes, Amazon, iTunes. What else? Wherever else is video, VOD. Yeah.
And lastly, how can the viewers and listeners find you on social media so they can see more about what's coming up?
So on Instagram and Twitter, I am at @_Montse, and that's MONTSE.
Montse, this was great. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.